Hey guys, welcome to Cignals Trading Academy. I'm your instructor, Young Wall Street. I'm the co-founder of Cignals.io. I've been in traditional finance since 2008. Been trading actively since 2009, I'd say. And I've made the transition into Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency market in 2012 and never looked back. A little about me. I'm a profile and order flow trader. Okay, I've worked in many different capacities, utilizing my skills over the years, both professionally as a money manager, and as well for myself and my own private funds that we run on our side. So that's enough about me. Why am I doing this? Because I've noticed over the past few months of being more active on YouTube and in content production that the majority of the education that's out there right now for Bitcoiners and for cryptocurrency enthusiasts and even like traditional guys who trade options and stocks is pretty bad. I mean, no offense to the people creating it, but they're just not they're not knowledgeable enough to be teaching people. So that's why we're here. And, I want to start with the very basics, okay? Why should you be a trader? Why even take the energy that's required and put it into this craft, right? Because what I'm starting to notice also is a lot of people in this bull market, from 20, call it like the end of 2020 to now, have been the beneficiaries of that bull market. Everybody's a genius in a bull market. You see all these people that are, crushing it with options and stuff like that on Wall Street bets. But, a lot of these dudes will not survive. That is just the cold hard facts of this business. Market serves up slices of humble pie when you least expect it, and you have to pay your tuition to keep on learning and growing in the space if you want to be successful. So what I want to do, the goal of this here is to create traders that are self-reliant and trust what their eyes are seeing and what you're comprehending, your brain is comprehending, right? And then use that to your advantage at any market. We want you to be able to survive any coming volatility, and also make sure that you live to fight another day, because I'm starting to see a lot of people over leveraged, getting wiped out. And it's one thing to be wrong on a trade, but we have to be cognizant of our abilities as traders, right? Otherwise, we're not going to live to fight another day. So with that being said, I want to also let you guys know in the description of every single video in Cignals Trading Academy is going to be a risk disclosure, okay? I'm a professional. I do this for a living. What I'm telling you is not financial advice, okay? Everything that we do here, is hypothetical, okay? Just because these systems work in hindsight doesn't mean that you're going to have instantaneous success. It doesn't mean that it's a be-all, end-all cure for blowing up accounts. You still have to conquer yourself as a trader in order to make it, right? So make sure in every video, if you're unsure, read the risk disclosures. This isn't financial advice. This is just one person talking to another and explaining his experience, okay? So now that we got that out of the way, let's dive right into it. So what makes a good trader? You need to set realistic expectations for yourself, okay? There's no holy grail. There's no magic sauce, right? People develop edges at some point once they get going and they start to really understand the nuances of how the market ticks that they're trading. So you need to set realistic expectations first and foremost. You can't just expect to deposit $5,000 into an account, $10,000 into an account, a Bitcoin, a half a Bitcoin, whatever, right? And expect to just start churning money out. It doesn't work like that. You need to master yourself first. You need to set realistic expectations. There's no, shortcut to this. It's going to take years, unfortunately. I'm literally almost 15 years into this, and I'm learning every day. I try as hard as I can to stay knowledgeable. I try as hard as I can to be abreast of everything happening that may affect markets that I trade, right? And that's very important. Otherwise, if you're in the dark just shooting, you're going to miss 90% of the time. So that's key, is being realistic, setting realistic expectations, knowing it's going to take years, and just trying to churn out a few ticks of profit every day, whether it's you know, if you break even, or just come away with a little bit of profit, or whatever it is. You don't want to have to set some lofty goal knowing you're not going to hit it. Then it gets in your head and you start questioning things that may be working for you that you can fine tune over time. So keep that in mind. Understand that there's no sauce. Anybody who tells you there's sauce to this is lying to you, okay? And a lot of these guys that are out there on crypto Twitter, YouTube, they're LARPers. They're not trading. They're literally drawing lines on a chart and posting it and hoping you're dumb enough to just eat it up and continue to follow them, right? And praise them for drawing a line on a chart. So keep that in mind as well. You want to drown the noise out as much as possible. You want to find something that works and build off that. You don't want to be trading 100 markets. That's death by 1,000 paper cuts waiting to happen, right? So pick one market. If it's crypto, pick one crypto market. If it's Bitcoin, stick with Bitcoin. If it's the S&P 500 futures, stick with the S&P 500 futures. This works for everything. This is basic trading psychology. You have to master yourself in order to master the market. Because if you're unable to control your emotions, if you're unable to control the way you manage your own money, how do you think you're going to grow your money if you can't even manage it, right? So with that being said, the next point I'd like to make about this is, understanding that when things go bad, it's not the end of the world, okay? I've blown up accounts in my day, more than I'd like to admit, to be honest with you, when I first started. And it took time, it took a lot of time. And to be honest with you, there are days where, things just, you can't buy a good day sometimes. And it's like, let me just walk away. That's what you have to do. You have to decompress. Trading is a very psychologically intense, emotionally intense business. And anybody who says they just crush it 24/7 is lying to you. Like, I'm telling you, they're LARPing. They're not crushing it 24/7. It's not possible, okay? And if they are, they're probably doing something illegal. So, you need to keep that in mind as well. Don't let other people get in your head. Just decompress. When things aren't going well, take a step back, observe the market as a spectator, and be like, oh, see, I would have got in there and it did what I thought it was, or whatever. You just have to separate the emotions at a certain point when things aren't working. So don't get discouraged. Getting discouraged is the wrong way to handle it. Instead of being discouraged and beating yourself up and forcing yourself to make bad trades just to make up a small loss, you're going to compound the problem. Step away, breathe, decompress for, an hour, a day, a week, whatever. And when you feel like, the adage used to be when I was on Wall Street, if you're under 85% mental clarity, you're losing. You need to walk away. You're really supposed to be functioning over 100% when you're trading, which is not possible, 110%. That's the adage, right? When you're under 100, you're already losing. So that's how you would start to control everything, is just, when realizing when you're not functioning at your highest level, or at least within earshot of your highest level, mentally. And if you're in that position, walk away for a little bit. There's no shame in it. Everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to be the alpha. Not everybody is an alpha. Not everybody is right all the time. It's not possible. It's also just basic human psychology that, you get in your own head and you become your own biggest obstacle to success. And that's not something that pro traders let happen. Pro traders understand when they're wrong. They understand when they're not functioning at a high level, and they understand that the market has the ability to humble all, and they don't want to necessarily go down a road where just to be right or just to prove to themselves that, they can do it. It's like, look, instead of eating a slice of humble pie, it's going to leave you broke. Lick your cuts, walk away, get your head straight, and come back stronger, man. That's all that has to happen, okay? So again, that's the basics of it, and also understand consistency is a lot more important than home runs. Any pro trader is going to tell you that. Consistency is far superior to home runs. Write that down. Consistency is far more important to your longevity as a trader than home runs. You will go broke looking for home runs, okay? How do I know this? It's happened to me. You want, if you want to be a pro trader, you need to live to fight another day. That's it. You can't be constantly looking for 100x's. You can't constantly be looking for 50x's. Long story short, I know way too many people who really thought they knew what they were doing when they didn't, and went against this advice and have taken 7 digits to 5 digits. Okay? It is beyond possible. It happens every day. You need consistency. You do not need home runs. Please write that down. Okay? And if you can't write it down, just drill that into your head. Okay? And I don't want to sound like condescending, but it really is the truth, because there is no sauce. And the sauce really is, if you want to put a finger on it, is consistency. So if you're able to walk away with even 1 tick of profit every day that covers your fees and covers everything net of like losers and whatnot, and you're able to walk away with 1, 2 ticks profit every single day, even if it's 1 tick every single day, you'll walk away with 365 ticks net, right? You made money. It doesn't matter if it's a 50% gain, 100% gain, or a 1% gain, or a scratch. You didn't lose money, and you lived to fight another day. And here's the kicker: that money that you think you're foregoing, you're actually paying your dues. You're coming up. You're learning. There's no, like, I can help you, but I can't teach you how to be a pro trader. It's within you. So you have to start to master yourself. You have to start to master risk. You have to start to master position management. And you have to start to really, really hone your craft, where you're very self-aware and you understand where your limitations are, and you just try to eke out break even, a tick, 2 ticks. Eventually that becomes 50 ticks, 100 ticks, and then eventually becomes a 10 bagger, a 20 bagger. So you're gonna get there. It's just a matter of getting through the beginning part. And if you're already established, this may not apply to you. You already know this. It's basic. Skip ahead to the next few videos, whatever. But this is worth mentioning to newer guys, because a lot of people just think it's that easy. And a lot of these dudes on, YouTube and Twitter really try to make it like it's that easy when it's not. So that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. If it was up to me, I would love to hit home runs every day, but Babe Ruth and all these guys couldn't hit home runs every at bat, right? So why do you think you can? And the biggest guys in the world have to buy order flow from hedge funds and brokerages that you use to have an edge. So if they're spending millions and millions of dollars on trade tickets to get an edge, what makes you think you're just going to magically eke out a 100-bagger out the gate, right? So that's just to get yourself settled. Once you're settled and you have an idea of what's going on, you're eking out profits, you're breaking even every day, and not even like, big profits, but anything, you're on your way. And that's a very good sign when you're not losing money. And when you start to lose money, let's say here and there, because it's just probabilities, eventually you will lose some money. As long as your winners are stacking more than your losers, it's okay. And it's okay to admit being wrong too. If you get into a trade and you realize you're wrong, cut it and walk away. So I think once people understand that part of it, it becomes a lot easier. And then, trading just becomes more emotionless. You start to function more on, these are the 3 base scenarios in my brain, and any of them can happen with equal probability. And if this is my main hypo, if it doesn't work, I'm aware of why it didn't work, and these are my 2 backup hypos, and if they don't work, I walk away. And I'm okay being wrong, because you know what? I didn't know what was going on clearly. Somebody knows more than me, and I'm not ready to lose money to try to prove I'm right. So that's really the basic of it, the basic ins and outs of this, just to get started, just to get an idea for newer guys where their head has to be, or girls, obviously, not trying to be sexist, where your head should be, right? And, we really do believe that, if you're just able to calm yourself, get in a state where you're able to eke out tiny gains, break evens, whatever it may be, and even if it's losing slight money where you're not losing tons, that's fine. You will be okay. So understand that it's all about self-mastery at first, and then you master the markets after. It's really about yourself first. So make sure you like and subscribe. The next video is going to be a little bit about what comes next after this little intro. And, we'll keep going from there. So I hope you guys stick with us.